Okay, we have something to talk about here. Geoengineering.
Geoengineering.
But it's also part of the whole New World Order situation. International Business Times, which let me just mention before we get into the article here.
Trace it back, baby.
Yeah, we're going to go to
back.
the Harvard U.S. Media Index here. We often cite it to show who owns what in America when it comes to mainstream media outlets. Listed number 34. Yeah, medium is the message. Yeah. Listed 34 on the list is Newsweek. It mentions here unclear funding since Newsweek was spun off from Etienne Uzak's International Business Times Media September 2018. Uzak co-founded International Business Times, which in 2013 bought Newsweek. So,
right. So suspicious ownership, suspicious funding, Newsweek, suspected intelligence ties.
Yes. Okay.
Is sort of the mother company of International Business Times or vice versa?
I think, well, yeah, there's two different things there. So I don't know. They're related. One came out of the other. Yeah, It says Newsweek was spun off from International Business Times in 2018.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, okay. But it also says that they bought Newsweek in 2013. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's all intelligence up, let's just say. And in that context, the people that would own some high-level tech maybe or access to it or know people that do. International Business Times headline, Turkey earthquake caused by U.S.-backed HAARP attack, ? Conspiracy theories as strange blue lightning seen in skies seconds before first earthquake. Okay, interesting.
Wow.
No,
I had not heard this.
Yeah, no mention or implication of, hey, look at these crazy theories. We're going to debunk it. We're going to fact check it. None of that. It's more just like, conspiracy theories and HAARP and stuff. Let me just read a little bit here. An acronym for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. The research project was handled by the U.S. Air Force and Navy from 1990 to 2014 before being handed over to University of Alaska Fairbanks in 2015. Alaska? I think we have Alaska again showing up. As per the university, HAARP is a research program designed to analyze the ionosphere, a portion of the upper atmosphere that stretches from about 53 miles above the surface of the Earth to 370 miles up. HAARP Research Station is located at Gakona in Alaska. And it goes through all the stuff here, and it talks about the clips, a lot of clips on Twitter of the earthquake, and in particular, it says here, the flashes of lightning in the sky seconds before the Turkey earthquake left many wondering if it was caused by HAARP. It isn't the first time HAARP has been accused of causing an earthquake. NBC News reported that in 2010, Venezuelan leader Hugo Chavez claimed that HAARP or a program like it triggered the Haiti earthquake.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, this is one of those conspiracy people talking points, right? Mentioning,
this is a classic. Earthquake machines are a classic. They go back
it's always been mentioned.
Time.
Social media was rife with conspiracy theories surrounding the involvement of the U.S.-backed research causing the 3 earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. Which, yeah, the Syria damage is just as bad there. And again, it goes through a bunch of tweets and stuff like that. Let me get to the bottom of the article here. Where is it? It really just ends with quoting tweets, but I thought there was a little summary. Maybe not.
Well, so that's interesting. They didn't even try to do like a fact check.
No, they just report on all these, the sentiment of social media, particularly Twitter here. Of the number of people.
That's weird.
The number of people calling it out.
That sounds like a weird intelligence agency thing to do.
It seems like this technology is pretty obviously exists in some capacity.
No denial.
I think it's going to have to become mainstream at some point. And so they're kind of preparing the mainstream media to accept a type of technology. And the way they're going to do it, by the time it becomes common knowledge, everyone's going to be like, yeah, of course. Yeah, of course we've had it. It's just one of those things or people don't care about.
I would argue that the reason we know that the mainstream is reactionary.
Yeah.
I would say that the reason that they're even doing so is because it already is mainstream.
It's already mainstream. Yeah.
You know, the numbers bear out, because we know how this works. They're a profit-making corporation or a propaganda outlet. And these types of things, I think it's more likely that so many people are already turned on to the earthquake machine situation reporting on it is that's just good business.
Well, it's the U.S. backed part of this, and the headline is also very interesting because we're at this time when we're hearing about the Nord Stream pipelines blowing up, and the U.S. being involved with that. Right. Yeah. The
mainstream reporting of again, but they're doing the reporting on the reporting. So Seymour Hersh writes a Substack about something we all kind of knew and could piece together.
Yeah.
And now the mainstream gets to report on the reporting, kind of like this. They're reporting on the rumor, or reporting on the online posts is kind of similar to reporting on the reporting. And so you have the mainstream sort of dipping their toes in reporting what they would formerly call conspiracy theories while maintaining some plausible deniability.
Yeah. Yeah. So just a couple headlines. Thank you, Jam, for sending these. Reuters.com in 2017, Turkish mayor suggests Gulen plotting earthquake to harm economy. Interesting headline.
And Reuters too.
Reuters, yeah. And this one is from Arab News. Another one from 2017. I think it's part of the same story. Ankara mayor, Turkey may be targeted by man-made earthquakes. And of course, Forbes had a whole Nikola Tesla earthquake machine breakdown back in, when was this? 2020, January. But the one that I think is all, if you want to show your friends, family, if they're, I don't know about that, show them this one. This is the Department of Defense. This is an archived version that we have linked in the show notes, but it is an actual transcript from the Department of Defense. They did publish it, of Secretary of Defense William S. Cohen, April 28th, 1997. And in it here, he's talking about, I'm going to just quote this thing. He's talking about the Ebola virus. He says this: Alvin Toffler has written about this in terms of scientists in their laboratories trying to devise certain types of pathogens that would be ethnic specific so that they could just eliminate certain ethnic groups and races. And others are designing some sort of engineering, some sort of insects that can destroy specific crops. Others are engaged. I mean, that's already a lot there, right? I mean, in the context of post-COVID, that's like, oh my gosh, 1997. Others are engaging even in an eco type of terrorism, whereby they can alter the climate, set off earthquakes, volcanoes remotely through the use of electromagnetic waves.
Yeah.
So there are plenty of ingenious minds out there that are at work finding ways in which they can wreak the terror upon other nations. It's real. That's the reason why we have to intensify our efforts. And that's why this is so important.
Yeah, 1997, the defense secretary, William Cohen, talking about earthquake machines, volcano machines,
so this is old tech. Yeah, old tech at this point, and and I think the mainstream, it's a great way to report on it without reporting on it, is to do it through a reporting about a journalist or about Twitter sentiment.
It's kind of reminding me. I mean, the first example of something like this that we experienced was the Havana Syndrome reporting.
Yeah.
Where Havana Syndrome, it took about a year, maybe 2 years of weird podcasters like us talking about Havana Syndrome, and then recently, in the past, I think it was during the
World Economic Forum.
Yeah, they started coming out. They started coming out in mainstream news talking about Havana Syndrome, energy weapons, directed energy weapons, stuff like that.
Yeah, the diplomats.
So it's not that far off from what we're dealing with now. Yeah, I couldn't have told you when we started podcasting 11 years ago that the crazy stuff that we spent all our time on would just be on the news someday.
At a certain point, this has to be part of a disclosure process too, right? Because it's becoming so mainstream that everybody knows about these things.
Disclosure.
Yeah. It's very interesting. And it does, I don't know. It changes. It's a very interesting ebb and flow of controlling public sentiment about this stuff, because normally, because it's been hidden, people will not trust anybody who has control of this technology. So it's a very delicate thing to try to bring it to the masses without seeming like the bad guy.
God bless America.